Forces are vector quantities. Remember that vectors have both magnitude and also direction. This means we can represent forces as arrows. So we can represent the force used to push a box as an arrow. And the arrow is drawn from the point where the force acts. So in this case, it's the hand. And the direction of the force is simply shown by the direction of the arrow. The strength of the force can then be shown by the relative length of the arrow. But what happens if we have multiple forces acting on the box? Well, the resultant force acting on an object is the single force with the same effect as all the forces acting on it together. So when two forces act in the same direction, they create a larger resultant force. So if we also have a second person pushing the box, this gives a larger resultant force, as the two people are pushing with a combined force. But what if the second person pushing the box is doing so in the opposite direction? When two forces act in opposite directions, they create a smaller resultant force. So if the second person is pushing the box in the opposite direction, this leads to a smaller resultant force, as the two people try to push the box in opposite directions, and the bigger force eventually wins. Let's have a look at some other examples of resultant forces. Most systems will have multiple forces acting on them at once. For example, a falling apple. Gravity pulls the apple to the ground, whereas air resistance pushes it back up. As gravity is the larger force here, the apple falls with a smaller resultant force than its weight. Another example is an accelerating moped. There's a driving force from the engine, but there's also friction and other resistive forces at play. These oppose the driving force. As the driving force is larger, the resultant force allows the moped to accelerate, but slower than if there were no resistive forces. So to keep a constant speed, we need a driving force that balances the friction. You need to be able to explain how the forces in a system interact and describe the resultant force from them for your exams.
Thanks for watching. If you want to take your GCSE revision to the next level, head over to launchpadlearning.com and check out our smart learning platform that's been designed to get you top results in your exams. We cover your whole specification and make revision fun with interactive quizzes, easy-to-follow videos, and more. You'll be kept motivated by your own AI tutor who's here to support you every step of the way. To check it out for yourself, click here. Or click here to keep watching a selection of the videos from our full GCSE Physics course. See you there!